So y'all know that when I went on sabbatical, it all started to hit the fan, right? You knew that. And it reminded me of the story of Jehoshaphat, which I talked about before I left, where 3 armies were coming against him, and of course they represent those 3 big major things that come at us sometimes. And so the first thing that happened was we were broken into. The good news is nothing got stolen. And it reminded me, I love, breaking the 10 commandments, meaning breaking into what they really mean. And the commandment, thou shalt not steal, is really, you can't steal from me what is mine in consciousness. If you do, I'll get it back, and you won't be able to hold on to it because it's ours by right of consciousness. So if you'll repeat with me, no one can take from us what is ours in consciousness. Would you say that with me? No one can take from us what is ours in consciousness. And that always makes me feel better if I'm ever feeling like I'm vulnerable in some way. Well, the other thing that happened was the plumbing under the kitchen sink broke. And it didn't just leak out onto the floor, it became a fountain all over the cupboards. And the cabinets are all buckled and the cabinets are ruined. And it's pretty bad down there. The walls are soaked and ruined about 3 feet up. The good news is that the insurance is probably going to cover most of it. So that's the good news. The other good news is I delegated to my new assistant minister, Brandon, the project of coordinating the project. And then I said to him, welcome to ministry. And so you can give him a hug on the way out. He's coordinating it. Now, the third army came this week when I came in one day and sat at my desk, and I turned the air conditioning on because I don't do well in humidity. And the floor underneath my desk and chair started vibrating like you're on one of those vibrating beds. And I thought, oh God, what's this, So we called the plumbers, and lots of things happened. There was a dead mouse in the thing that didn't do it any good. But also he informed us that our air conditioning is really getting old and starting to fail fast. And so we have that going on. And, we could go into 4th, 5th, and 6th armies coming at us. Eventually we'll have to replace the whole plumbing. We'll have to replace the air conditioner, the roof, the windows, the asphalt, parking. We have a lot that needs to go on here. Your building is like your minister. Getting old, still doing the job, but showing signs of old age. As Edwin Gaines always said, I have parts that are not in their original positions anymore. And we're all held together with duct tape, WD-40, and chewing gum. And so repeat with me in your best Han Solo voice, hold together, baby. Hold together, baby. Hold together, baby. Okay. I'm getting to the spiritual message pretty soon. First of all, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe is don't panic, right? We have lots of decisions to be made here, and we're going to do those decisions together, and we're going to keep you informed, make sure your contact information is up to date with us through announcements, newsletters, social media, congregational meetings, that kind of thing. And keep your sense of humor through all this. There's one church that realized when these kind of things came up, as needs come up with new construction and old ground being dug up to make room for the new, we think to ourselves, we really should have buried those bodies somewhere else. I gotta hope that we don't find anything like that. So here's how we're going to handle it. Ministers make day-to-day operations of the church decisions. The board makes decisions on major things, major repairs. And when it gets too major, like selling a building or getting a different minister or whatever it is, the congregation makes those decisions. So we have to decide at some point, and this came up about a year ago or 2 years ago, where we have to decide whether we're going to keep putting Band-Aids on or whether we should just sell and get something that fits our needs and our budget better. It's your decision. I won't be here forever, so it's your decision, not mine. But we're going to do it together, decide together. We have to be careful. Did you know that the Pentagon was originally supposed to be an octagon? It's true that the contractor just kept cutting corners. So, getting to my spiritual message, did I not promise there would be something? I'm going to go back to my favorite old gospel song. stand. That song reads like this: what do you do when you've done all you can and it seems like it's never enough? Tell me, what do you give when you've given your all and it seems like you can't make it through? You just stand. We stand together in principle. We stand together in a prosperity consciousness, knowing we are in union with God. We are a part of God. We are part of all the power and the guidance and the strength and the abundance. It's all a part of us. So we're going to walk through this thing with grace and ease. As the prophet said to Jehoshaphat when those armies were coming against him, the battle is not for you to fight. Take your position, stand still, and see the victory on your behalf. Do not fear or be dismayed at this great multitude. God will be with you, for the battle is not yours. It's whose? It's God's. The battle is not yours, it's God's. So, stop, look, and listen. We've already stopped about stop, stand. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that we are one with all the power and abundance and source and substance of the universe. And when you do that, you feel like you're just standing there, becoming aware of that. One of three things happens. Your problems can disappear. That does happen sometimes. When Jehoshaphat went out to battle those three armies, the three armies had started fighting amongst themselves, and by the time he got there, the battle was over. They were all dead, and all they had to do was pick up the spoils. Wouldn't that be nice if that happened here? The second thing that can happen is you do have to walk through it, but you do it with grace and ease. You do it through the power of the presence. You do it being guided every step of the way, knowing what to do. And the third thing that can happen is, yeah, it's a challenge, but there are blessings amidst the challenge. So if you'll repeat with me, we go forth in the power of love and grace. Together, we go forth in the power of love and grace. And for your own personal lives, you can say, I live in the power of love and grace. Together, I live in the power of love and grace. So stop, look, and listen. The next part is to look and listen. We will be shown the way. Watch for signs. Listen. Feel those promptings. Some people see it. Some people hear it. Some people feel it. And then while we're doing all that, stopping, watching, and listening, we have to be patient. Oh, poo, don't you? Wouldn't that just... Oh, poo. Let's all say that together. Oh, poo. While you're waiting for those inner promptings, you have to be patient. And I'm one of these, I trust the flow. You know, we talked about this a few years ago, and it just wasn't time. Nothing was flowing, and everything we tried didn't work. And that always is a message to me. If it isn't flowing, it's not time. I never do anything until it starts to flow. And when it flows, and it all comes together. So we're going to move in the flow. While we're standing, we stand in faith, not fear. When I look back at my life, decisions that I have made from fear never turned out that well. Anybody here made decisions from fear? Altogether now, oops, oops. Repeat with me, fear is nothing but emotional manipulation. Together, fear is nothing but emotional manipulation. Whether it's happening from the media out there, or whether it's happening from our own fears. Repeat with me, I release all fear and step out in faith. Together, I release all fear and step out in faith. And we're going to have fun with this. You know, construction can be enjoyable. For instance, drilling. You ready for this? Drilling a large hole is boring, but fastening two pieces of metal together is riveting. How do construction workers party? They raise the roof. Okay, one more and then I'll quit. We have to be like the windows in the house that needed new windows. They needed therapy. They'd had too many paints and couldn't see through an issue. So we're going to face our issues. We're going to face our fears and walk through it. Okay, most of all, we're going to do this with prayer, right? So we need some tools in our pocket. Usually I close with prayer. Today I'm going to close with affirmations. Are you with me? Okay. Repeat with me. We stand in principle and a prosperity consciousness. Together, we stand in principle and a prosperity consciousness. We watch, look, and listen for signs. Together, we watch, look, and listen for signs. We trust the inner guidance to move us forward. Together, we trust the inner guidance to move us forward. We act on decisions with faith, not fear. Together, we act on decisions with faith, not fear. We allow the flow to move us forward. Together, we allow the flow to move us forward. And let's close our eyes this morning as we just affirm a reading I fell across coincidentally this week. Eye has not seen nor ear heard the things which God, the divine presence, has prepared for those who love. We haven't seen, we haven't heard, we can't even imagine what God has prepared for this church, this congregation, this group of love right here this morning. But we open to it. We release all blocks to love's presence. And we get excited about waiting to see. I can't wait to see what God is going to do in these next few months and years. I just can't wait to see it. And we affirm these truths in the very nature of the living Christ within us all. And so it is. Amen.